Hey, y'all. There are three words I want to examine over the next couple of weeks that are really important in the life of a Christian. In the Psalms, Psalm 86 says, "But you, O Lord, are a God full of compassion and gracious, long suffering, and abundant in mercy and truth." The three words I want to look at are grace, mercy, and truth. Today, let's talk about mercy. Mercy is something that's not really natural to us. When I was a kid, we used to play a game called Mercy, where we would stand opposite of one another and we would grasp each other's hands, and then we would try to bend back the wrist of our opponent, and the game was over when the loser cried out mercy. Um, a lot of times we think of mercy in that way, where it means we're bending another person to our will. But that's not a biblical understanding of what mercy is. Mercy in the Bible is where God doesn't give us what we deserve. When we think about that, we all deserve eternal punishment. We all deserve separation from Him. Why? Because we're all sinners and we all fall short of the glory of God. And yet, as the psalmist said, he is a merciful God. And the writer of Hebrews said, "We can boldly approach the throne of grace that we might obtain mercy and grace to help in the time of need." God is a merciful God. That means even though we deserve separation from Him and punishment from Him, He provides and gives mercy. That's what the cross is all about. It's about God's loving mercy for people, that He doesn't give what we deserve. When we place our faith in Him, we enter into His mercy. And in doing so, He doesn't give us the punishment that we rightfully deserve. As we look at this word, it's easy to concentrate on the mercy of God because he's merciful and loving and all of those things. But what we forget is that God has called us to be merciful as well. That's more difficult because we're all about giving people what they deserve. If they hurt us, we hurt them right back. But God's called us to be merciful. In fact, in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said, "Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy." See, when we come to the point where we trust God enough to allow Him to do in other people's lives what we're unable to do, that also allows Him to do in our lives things that are beyond our capability. It means that we trust Him and we're able to see Him work through us and giving us mercy and allowing us to give others mercy. A lot of times we don't understand the extent of God's forgiveness, or we are quick to forget how much He's forgiven us of. And in doing so, we are slow to give mercy to other people. In Luke, Jesus said, "Be merciful, even as your Father is merciful." If we're going to truly exemplify Christ in this world, that means that we've got to be different. We live in a world where that says if we disagree with someone, that means we hate them. But the truth is that we have done a poor job as Christians of showing mercy. It's very easy to go back and say an eye for an eye, But Jesus taught us. Jesus taught us to love our enemies and to bless those who curse us. Jesus taught us not just with his words, but with his life to be merciful. Mercy is given not because it's deserved. Mercy is given because we are merciful. God gives us mercy not because we've earned it, but because he's a merciful God. And we as his people ought to be merciful people. What role does mercy play in your life? Is it just about bending other people to your will? Or is it truly about the freedom that comes when we trust God to fight our battles and we trust God to be our strength and to take care of us? Then we understand the extent of the mercy that God has poured out upon us. And we can be conduits of God's mercy to the world around us. In the world that we live in today, they don't need to see more aggressive, angry, argumentative people. What the world needs to see, it's desperate to see, are people who are truly believers in Christ, who are willing to live the mercy that God has given to them. Are you merciful? Because God has been merciful with you. My prayer is that you will be filled with his mercy and that it will flow out of you to the world around you. God bless you.